Coming up on UCF Nightly News, veterans are being honored at UCF. The event's taking place on campus ahead of the holiday weekend. Plus, some students are questioning gun laws after a deadly shooting in Texas. We take a closer look at what it takes to purchase a firearm in Florida. And coming up in sports, the undefeated streak for our Knights continues. What the football team is doing to prepare for tomorrow's game against UConn. Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Crystal Ruiz. Today is Friday, November 10th, 2017. This Veterans Day Nightly News would like to thank all the veterans here at UCF and across the country for their service. Veterans Day may be a holiday where you get a day off from classes, but for some, it's a day to honor their loved ones. All month, events are taking place on campus that give Knights the chance to show their appreciation for veterans' service. UCF veterans and professors held a Veterans Commemoration Ceremony at Memory Mall Thursday. The event featured the UCF Air Force ROTC, the UCF Army ROTC, and patriotic music played throughout the ceremony. Veterans gave brief speeches including Barbara Gannon, an Army Sergeant veteran and Associate Professor of UCF.
Veterans, by definition, have survived the war, but sometimes they don't survive the war undamaged. But even those who are undamaged, they deserve to be honored for what they did for our nation.
Students, teachers, and veterans gathered at the commemorative site to pledge to the flag and took a moment of silence for those who have fought and continue to fight for our freedoms. For veterans here at UCF, there are many resources to help make a successful transition from military to student life. In 2011, GI Jobs magazine began recognizing UCF as a military-friendly university. The Veterans Academic Resource Center provides information about filing claims to the Veterans Affairs, certifying enrollment at the university, and deferring tuition and fee payments. The VARC also offers tutoring, disability accommodations, veteran counseling, private space for studying, and early registration for classes. The center is located in Suite 100 of the CFE Arena. Search for UCF's fifth president is underway. Now the hunt of who will be next to take office is buzzing around campus and the Orlando community. The search committee is in place and consists of the UCF student body, faculty, and residents of Orlando. Once elected, candidates will participate in an on-campus forum so the student body and faculty have a chance to meet them. Board of Trustees Chairman Marcos Marquena says he hopes the next candidate continues UCF's success through transparency, partnerships, and inclusion. President Hitt's last official day at UCF is June 30th, 2018. And we're learning new details about the Texas shooter's past. A mistake by the Air Force is just one piece of paper trail officials say possibly contributed to a shooting at the Texas church Sunday. Reporter Hakeem Dixon took a closer look at the process of legally purchasing a firearm here in Florida.
A background check into shooter Ryan Kelly shows he wasn't fit to own a firearm due to a prior criminal record and mental health issues. With Florida having similar gun laws to Texas, I looked into how secure the background process is. Gretel Plessinger, Communication Director of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, says the department conducts an extensive background check on applicants before they can purchase a weapon.
We have access to, like I said, criminal history records from Florida, and then national criminal history records.
In Florida, you need to fill out an application similar to this one and provide proof of the legal age of 18. Students on campus have opposing views on gun control. UCF student Greg Smith says that it's time for stronger gun laws.
Every death to gun violence is one too many. So I think that the U.S. should really start basing its policies more on facts than feelings, and we should join the other developed countries of the world.
On the other hand, student MtClenahan believes stricter laws isn't the answer.
At this point, you're just taking guns out of the guy who wants to follow laws and doesn't want to break them. You're leaving him at the mercy of somebody who doesn't want to.
Plessinger says the FDLE is doing their job to keep people safe and that if residents believe laws should be changed, they should talk to their local representatives. In Orlando, Hakeem Dixon, UCF Nightly News.
Last month, Senator Linda Stewart and Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith reintroduced a bill proposing a statewide ban on assault weapons in Florida. The Florida Senate has yet to approve or toss out the bill. Recent college AP scores shows more than 75% of high school students scored below average on government and politics tests. This week, Nightly News reporter Anna Espinoza put UCF students' political knowledge to the test. She asked several dozen students how confident they felt answering questions about the government.
You know, traditionally, young people do not know very much about politics.
I asked UCF student Tyler Nylander if he knows who the mayor of Orlando is.
That's a good question. No.
People between the ages of 18 and 29 make up more than 15% of the U.S. population. Records show that less than 45% of those in that age group turned out to the 2016 election. Oviedo resident Marianne Coffey says she's noticed a lack of political knowledge in the youngest generation.
When I've been out registering voters on college campuses, I'm really surprised by so many people who don't even know what the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans are.
Professor Jewett says this is common, but it won't last forever.
What happens usually is as people get older, they do start paying attention more to politics. And that usually happens because they start having families, they get married, they have children.
UCF student Meghan Amundson understands how important it is to know politics.
We need to know what's going on in our world, and if we're not paying attention to that, then we can't be expected to have a voice and to try to get anything done or change something if we don't like how something's being. So
Professor Jewett knows students lack knowledge in politics, but is hopeful for the future. In Orlando, Anna Espinoza, UCF Nightly News.
Research shows that many college students are not watching local news. Jewett says the best way to keep up with the local government is to read and watch the news. Now taking a break from politics, UCF campus Peace Action hosts 10 City Come Together. The weekend-long music and arts festival promotes a spirit of inclusion among students. This year's theme, Come Together, is inspired by the recent tragic events that occurred throughout 2017. UCF student Blue Kaufman believes through art, music, and collaboration, the festival teaches the power of community. She says that it's essential that we form a strong human bond and use our voices and minds for a greater good.
It's to kind of bring together people. It's a safe place for everyone on campus who's a UCF student to kind of acknowledge our similarities and differences.
Students slept under the stars to wake up the next day to volunteer-run workshops. Students will be able to participate in yoga, a free vegan meal, and live music to end their night. Coming up after the break, 2017 could go down as one of the hottest years in history. What a local professor says is bringing the heat. Also ahead, we'll take a look at what's in store for your Veterans Day forecast when we come back. A recent study by the UN shows 2017 will be one of the hottest years on record. NASA also released a study proving that the hole in the ozone layer is the smallest it's been in decades. Nightly News reporter Chris Hargrove tells us more how this good and bad news affects our planet.
The UN's Weather and Climate Agency says 2017 will be the third hottest year consecutively. Almost 200 nations are meeting in Germany this month to try and improve on the 2015 Paris Climate Pact. President Donald Trump announced in June that the U.S. would withdraw from the Paris Agreement. Sean Milrad is an assistant meteorological professor at Embry-Riddle. He says the recent trend is something to be concerned about, but it doesn't necessarily mean every year will be hotter than the last.
It has certainly increased the odds that, say, any year from here on out is going to be a top 10 year.
It's not all bad news, though. Last week, NASA announced the hole in the ozone layer shrunk to the smallest size in nearly 3 decades. Scientists first detected the hole in the ozone layer in 1985 and say the larger the hole, the more harmful UV rays we are exposed to. Milrad says humans are slowly starting to eliminate the pollutants that cause the hole in the ozone.
And we're starting to see the results. So that's the reason the ozone hole is the smallest. It's basically repairing itself.
Milrad says that the improvement in the ozone layer is a great example of what the human race can do if they work towards a common goal. UCF student Niv Aloni believes that it's important for everyone to continue to work together to improve the climate.
And if we're not caring for everything around us, then we're not caring for ourselves, and that's representative of us and how we treat the world.
Milrad says it's up to our generation to start making a change and that it's not too little too late to help turn things around. Reporting in Orlando, Chris Hargrove, UCF Nightly News.
Milrad said it's not too late for students to participate in helping improve climate change. UCF Sustainability Initiative members are planning a number of events and workshops to educate students about sustainability. Furry friends are helping disabled people become more independent, and one four-legged knight just graduated to the next stage of his training. At UCF, these companion animals are perfecting their training to help people with disabilities. Service dog in training Alan moved on to advanced training this past week. Morgan Bell is the president of STEP at UCF, and she says although this experience can be sad when their dog leaves, it's also extremely rewarding.
You form an attachment with the dog, but then you also see on the other side of it all of the amazing, incredible people that get the dogs and where they end up.
Bell says Alan will finish his advanced training at the Canine Companions for Independence Orlando campus and be matched with a person in 6 to 9 months. She says the matching of the dog and the human is done by comparing personalities and needs. Bell says her puppy Sihan will follow in Alan's footsteps in May. The newest college football rankings have our UCF Knights remaining at 18 in the latest polls. The Knights are 1 win away from tying the program record 9-game winning streak. The Knights are 8-0 for the first time in program history after their defeat of SMU last weekend. UCF continues their offensive domination by leading the nation in scoring offense, averaging 48.5 points per game. Coach Scott Frost says even when his team starts to struggle, he knows he can count on the offense to make a play and change momentum.
The great part about calling plays with this offense is if we can keep our offense on the field by getting first downs. We got a lot of guys that can create a big play. So the more we're out there, the more chances we have to have Killens or Gabe Davis or a bunch of other guys create a big play for us.
Adrian Killens and the rest of the UCF Knights take on UConn tomorrow in another conference showdown. Coach Frost and the rest of the players said they're looking forward to a packed house to cheer them on. Kickoff is at 12 p.m. tomorrow here at Spectrum Stadium. And in some happy and uplifting news, Coach Scott Frost and his wife Ashley welcomed their baby in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Frost announced the birth of his son during an appearance on a local radio show Thursday morning. The UCF head football coach was on moments' notice to leave for the past week, awaiting for baby Frost to arrive. Nightly News would like to send our personal congratulations to the new parents. Coach Scott Frost doesn't have to worry about his baby arriving anymore, but does he have to worry about the weather? Let's take a look at our Veterans Day weekend forecast. This weekend, we can expect temperatures in the high 70s and mid 60s. Our Veterans Day will be a nice one, but we can expect a 30% chance of rain, so keep those umbrellas handy. Starting next week, temperatures will be slightly cooler. Tuesday will be the day to break out those sweaters. We're expecting a high of 75 and a low of 58. There's no chance of rain, so it'll be a fantastic day. That's our time for right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nightlynews.ucf.edu. And if you got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynewsucf@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.